Hello everyone, welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Endurance Championship today. We're going into Season 3 of 2020 now, Round 1 in Tier 2 today, racing the Group 2 categories at Catalonia. Apologies beforehand if some driver graphics are missing on the grid walk today. The Drivers Room has recently expanded into 3 tiers racing on Thursday night now, so 40 plus drivers in this hour Endurance Championship going into Season 3. Looking forward to it. Anyway, here is our grid walk. In pole position today we have Adventure Racing, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's a late addition to the Drivers Room last season, making appearances in only the final 3 rounds of Tier 2. Did pick up 2 wins in the second place, meant he only missed out on promotion by 5 points last season, so definitely an odds-on favourite for promotion, sticking on pole again today in the first race. And in second place today we have Mungino. He's starting with the Racing Softs on the front, Super Softs on the back. Finished second in Tier 2 last season, his Tier 2 crown being taken by newcomer Lionessi. Has a tough season ahead again with some new faces making up the grid today. Good quality today though, starting in second. Let's see if he can put pressure on early in the race. And in third place today we have Berkey Baby, starting on the Super Softs. Finished 7th in Tier 2 last season with both of his best results coming in the Group 2 category. Still signed up for the Made for Racing junior team this season. Has the pace to be running, pushing for podiums all season. Could maybe make a push for promotion as well. And in fourth place today we have Alex, starting on the Super Softs. Hasn't appeared in the Endurance Championship for quite a few months. Makes a very welcome return to Season 3 as we expand to 3 tiers. Should provide some very exciting competition at the front end as he is a multiple DRSL champion. Has to be one of the favourites for promotion this season. We see how he gets on starting from 4th today. And in 5th place today we have Mr. Sean. Starting with the Softs on the front, Super Softs on the back, another relatively new face on the grid. Sean made his debut in round 7 last season, picking up a superb 2nd place, so definitely has the pace to run with the front guys, and signed up for full 8 races in Season 3, so we see how he gets on. And in 6th place today we have Jules, starting on the Racing Softs. Consistent run for Jules last season, finishing no lower than 8th in all 8 rounds, managing 3 top 5s along the way. Definitely putting himself in a position to capitalise on any mistakes from rivals, as consistency is key during these hour-long endurance races. Starting from 6th today, see how he gets on. And in the 7th place today we have Merck, starting on the Super Softs. Rough season for Merck last term, if I'm not mistaken. I think he picked up a real life injury that limited his appearances to only 4 point scoring rounds. Back on form now though, so let's see where he falls in the pecking order of this extremely tough Tier 2 competition. And in 8th place today we have Canny, starting on the Racing Softs. Tough season for Canny in Tier 1 last time out, as mentioned in this season's Spotters Guide. Finds himself in Tier 2 this season, fresh start so to speak, but finds himself surrounded with some extremely tough competition to deal with on his return to Tier 2. And in 9th place today we have Rocker, starting on the Super Softs. Finished 9th last season after only 4 appearances, done just enough to miss the cut into the newly drafted Tier 3. Did pick up a solid podium in the Group 2s last season, but has a lot to do starting from 9th today. We'll see how he gets on. And in 10th place today we have Craig, starting on the Super Softs. After a solid 7th place finish in the opening round of last season, consistency dropped a little bit and found himself on the cusp of relegation when the Tier 3 cut came in. Switching up to the stable Nissan GTR in the Group 2s this season. Let's see how he does starting from 10th today. And in 11th place today we have AGT Grimlock, starting on the Super Softs. After an opening round win last season, Grim only managed a handful of points in the remaining races. Starting at the back today, known for tyre punishing long opening first stints. Let's see if he can make a few positions up as the race goes on. But that is our grid walk for today. Let's get underway. Here we are then, about to get underway. Catalonia Group 2 category, first race of Season 3. So newly expanded 3-tier Endurance Championship. And Tier 2 should prove to be very hotly contested. At the top, that looks like a really good launch from Adventure Racing out in front. Cleanly out in pole. I think Mungino bogged down a little bit in the Lexus. Could come under pressure from Berkey Baby. 'He's showing in 2nd place on the graphic already, so I think he's ahead going into turn 1. Looks like a really good launch from Adventure Racing out in front. Cleanly out in pole. I think Mungino bogged down a little bit in the Lexus. Could come under pressure from Berkey Baby. Showing in 2nd place on the graphic already, so I think he's ahead going into turn 1. as he's round the outside, and he's going to have the inside of turn 2 as Alex looks like he's followed that line straight through as well. So Mangino dropping a couple of places on the opening couple of corners. He has got the inside of this right hander now as Alex trying to hang it round the outside. He's going to get a little bit of toe from Berkey in third, and yet just enough to get himself a car's length ahead. Moves himself up into third place on the opening lap. Mangino down to fourth, and under pressure from Jules by the looks of it. He's made a place up on the Sean as well. Jules and Mr. Sean swapping places on the opening lap. Sean in 6th, and we've got Merck and Canny side by side now for 7th and 8th place. Oh, it's a wheel on the grass there from Canny. Just about keeps control of the car there. Loses a lot of momentum though as Rocker comes through as well, and might come under pressure from Grimlock in 10th place, and made place up on Craig down in 11th now. Back to the front of this race, the Adventure Racing, see how long he can get these super softs to last for in this opening stint on the full tank of fuel. It looks to be extending that gap a little bit out in front. Berkey Baby doing a good job to hold off Alex at the moment. So Alex, a very welcome return back to the Endurance Championship. Yeah, as I said on the grid book, should be a very tightly contested Tier 2 Championship this season. End of lap 2 now, Adventure Racing out in front by a couple of seconds. Berkey got 2 cars right in his toe now, and there was a little bit of contact there in the braking zone between Mangino and Alex. Alex, no damage, but Mangino dropping another place there. So yeah, really sloppy couple of opening laps from Mangino. He started 2nd place, finds himself in 5th, under pressure from Mr. Sean now. Merck not far behind in 7th as well. He's got his brother Rocker in 8th. Looks like he's going to be closing that gap up on his group ahead soon as well. There's a little bit of contact somewhere, but we've got Merck and Mr. Sean side by side. Mr. Sean just takes inside that apex and slots himself back into 6th place. Merck in 7th, Rocker in 8th, Canny 9th, Grim in 10th, Craig in 11th. So it looks like Adventure Racing just opening that gap up out in front now. Say Alex just not being able to find a way past Berkey. Both of those 2nd and 3rd place seem to be opening up a little bit of a gap to Jules in 4th place. A little bit of messy through the final chicane there. All positions being retained, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th for the moment. I say Rocker not far from the toe of his brother in front. Should prove an interesting battle between these two guys. Very similar pace now. So I think Merck's always had a bit of an edge over Rocker. Merck having a bit of a layoff recently, and see if he can find his pace again. And yeah, Rocker definitely closing that gap up to this group up ahead. See how these guys manage the tyre wear as this race continues as well. So 1:37.2, only half a second difference between Adventure Racing and Berkey on the last lap. Alex right on the gearbox of Berkey at the moment though. See Mangino in the background, looks like he's shaping up Jules for a move as well. And yeah, looks like he's got the job done there. Gets himself, takes a big chunk of curb through that though. He's completely lost it. I've lost him as well. I don't know where they came. As Jules takes a little bit of sand there as well. Really untidy at the moment. And Mr. Sean's going to be putting him under pressure on the main straight. But yeah, Mangino dropping back another couple of places there. Down into 7th now. As Merck all over the back of him, and he's going to have the inside of T1. This should be a pretty easy move as he just slots himself back in front to take a better line into T1. yeah, gets the job done, moves himself up into 6th place. Sorry, that's Rocco moving himself up into 7th place. It's a similar liveries as well from here, but yeah, the Rocco up into 7th place now. Mungino, another mistake from Mungino, dropping down to 8th. Looks like he's fighting back already. And has the inside, this long right-hander gets himself back up into 7th place. Rocco back down to 8th, and this is allowing this little group of cars ahead to pull away. It's Jules at the front of this pack now, 4th. Closely followed by Mr. Sean and Murkoff. You see just up ahead as well, Berkey still ahead of Alex. So weathering a lot of pressure up front, as looks like Jules running a little bit wide there. Mr. Sean just takes the invite, gets himself up into 4th place now. Jules under pressure from Merck as well, as Merck moves himself up. So Jules losing a couple of places there. He's out on the sand as well. Mungino might have a run on him. And yeah, he's gone wide, dirty tyres, he just couldn't slow the car down in time, loses a place, and that is Merck taking far too much curve through the chicane, losing the back end there. So all kicking off in this midfield at the moment. Mr. Sean up into 4th with clean air now. Should see if he can get away from this pack, as Mungino back up into 5th, Merck down in 6th, Jules in 7th, Rocker in 8th, Kenny in 9th, Grim in 10th. I think Craig's had an incident somewhere as he's falling right back off the pack now. So out in front we have Adventure Racing just going purple again. So yeah, really starting to put the hammer down now. See if he's, and that looks like Berkey running a little bit wide there. Just see a bit of sand getting kicked up in the background. But, yeah, Berkey's been under constant pressure for the best part of 3 or 4 laps now. Alex just can't find a way past. So dropping down to the 1:39s now. Adventure Racing out in front, solid 1:37s, just opening that gap up. As Berkey's just defending this 2nd place, and this may allow Sean now to start closing the gap up. Mungino not that far behind, as just see Jules running wide in the background there again. That's just about rejoins the track in front of Canny. There's a bit of ghost in there, and he just unghosts as Canny just makes a bit of accidental contact, makes the place up though anyway. So Canny up into 8th place now. Jules down to 9th, a couple of untidy laps from Jules. And yeah, was running in 4th. Finds myself under pressure from Grimlock in 10th now on the main straight. Looks like Mungino might be closing that gap up to Sean ahead. 37.9 from Mungino, personal best on the last lap though. As Merck goes wide, oh, he's out in the sand, that's going to cost him a lot of time. As his brother says thank you very much. Sweeps fast up into 6th place now, Canny up into 7th. Merck drops down to 8th place after that mistake, just run a little bit wide there. It's out on the sand, but yeah, very very closely contested fight at the back of the pack, 6th to 10th pretty much, as Rocker runs a little bit wide now, as he's going to find himself under pressure from Canny. There's nowhere to overtake. And yeah, both the there's a little bit of lag spiking from Merck there as well. It's going to be hard for Jules to contend with behind. Yeah, both the brothers getting a little bit untidy, but Rocker doing enough now to hold on to 6th place. As up ahead we've missed, Alex has got ahead of Berkey somewhere. Let's take a look back. Just rejoin the action towards the end of lap 6, on board with Alex at the moment. It's been putting Berkey under a lot of pressure on this opening stint, and we've missed an overtake somewhere, but that's Berkey just a little bit of oversteer there on the worn tyres. Alex just nipping up the inside, moves himself up into second place, safe towards the end of lap 6. See if Berkey can get a good exit through this chicane. A little bit too much curb there, I think. So get a good exit through this chicane and last corner and put Alex under pressure again for a re-overtake, but I think Alex has done enough there to be safe into T1. So Alex up into second place now, Berkey in third, Mr. Shaw in fourth, Mangino in fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Yeah, all running really close together. So Rocker just ahead of this group at the moment. So it looks a little bit untidy through T1 there, and Canny just makes that position up. So Canny up into 6th place now, Rocker in 7th, Merck in 8th, Grim up into 9th now as well. Jules a little bit untidy this stage of the race. Grimlock moving himself up into 9th. Yeah, Canny ahead of this group now as the brothers Rocker and Merck. Should prove to be a very interesting battle between these two. As I say, very similar on pace nowadays, and that looks like Merck making the move. If it goes to the right bloody car, yeah, Merck making the move on his brother and moves up into 7th place now. So Rocker down to 8th within a couple of corners, under pressure from Grimlock now as well. Come back to this fight at the back in a little while, but out in front at the moment, 1 minute 38.8. So lap time just dipping a little bit. He's got Alex diving into the pit, so finally made that place up into second and decides to pit. See if he finds a bit of clean air now and see what he can do. Switching up the strategies a little bit, might well be able to put a bit of pressure out on the leader and give him something to think about towards the end of this race. But rejoins the race in 4th, not that far behind on Mangino. Imagine he'll close that gap up pretty quickly and be looking to get himself ahead. As you've got Berkey pitting as well, just about rejoins the race in front of Canny there. Pretty vital that he did, as Canny's coming towards the end of his stint on the warm rubber now. Canny's done a good job in clean air, managed to open up a gap to Merck in 7th. Grimlock up into 8th now. Rocker must have pitted as well. Yeah, so Rocker's pitted. He's out on the fresh super softs as well. So I see how this plays out with this little group at the back. Rocker might well be able to get an undercut done. And Craig rejoining the race in 11th, half making his first pit stop. It's Adventure Racing clean out in front at the moment. It's just locking up the front wheels there a little bit into the hairpin. Say it's all down to see what Alex can do in 4th now. So he needs to get ahead of Mangino as soon as possible, really, if he's going to have any chance of putting pressure on the leader. Just coming up to the getting close to the 15-minute mark, quarter way through this race now, and I imagine Alex would good exit through there. There should be a good exit through the final turn as well. Should be a pretty textbook move into T1, I think. As I don't think Mangino's picking up the toe from Sean up ahead. Just moves out to the right. Mangino really late on the brakes there though. Really good on the brakes. But yeah, supreme tyre wear of the super soft just helping Alex through up into 3rd place now. Towards the end of lap 9, 14.5 minutes gone plus this pit stop time, so pretty much on course for a free stopper as Adventure Racing dives into the pits for the first time. See what Mr. Sean does from 2nd place, and Alex coming through in 3rd now, and so Sean staying out. Alex getting the toe down the main straight, see if he's close enough to get a move done, but Adventure Racing rejoins the race in 1st place there. Done enough in that first stint to earn himself a pit stop, and Mr. Sean doing enough down the main straight there to fend off any attack from Alex, and James coming out on the super softs again. See how long Mr. Sean can fight off the charging Alex for. So that tyre wear really kicking in now. Alex crawling all over the back of him at the moment. He's really slow through that corner. I think into the next hairpin coming up. Get a good exit through this right-hander, and a bit of a toe should be his best opportunity for an overtake. But Mr. Sean's got the inside, goes a little bit defensive. Alex can fall to be a bit later on the brakes. Do well to get round the outside there, but he does move himself up into second there. Really good overtake there from Alex. Sean down to third place now. Mangino still in fourth as he's closing that gap up to Sean now. Let's see what sort of lap time Alex can do in clean air. A little bit of tyre wear on the fronts, but should be good for a quick few laps. Should be a quick stint from here on out. So Adventure Racing just starting his first flying lap, and yeah, we'll see what Alex can do now in clean air. Mr. Sean pitting from third place, as that allows Mangino through up into third. The Berkey baby did pit a few laps ago. Not really done enough to get any sort of undercut done there, as Mr. Sean rejoins in fourth place, Berkey in fifth. Canny in sixth place, looks like Canny's pitted as well, so Canny rejoining the race in sixth, so he's done well there. Got himself ahead of that pack, got a good couple of clean laps in, and got himself back out ahead of the chasing pack once their round of pit stops are done. Rocker's still ahead, just ahead of his brother at the moment, as mind you, that's Merck having just pitted, I think, so Rocker getting a bit of an undercut done there, moving himself up to seventh. You've got Merck in eighth. Grimlock's pitted in ninth as well, rejoining the race in ninth. I imagine, yeah, Jules is pitted, rejoins in 10th. Just at the end of lap 11 now with Mangino. I think he's coming towards the end of his first stint. Mr. Sean out on a fresh rubber has already closed that gap up to him, so yeah, Mangino in the pits now. Mr. Sean on his first, or just completing his out lap now. Looks like a really good out lap. See where Mangino feeds back into things, as Berkey's stayed well in touch with Mr. Sean. It will be close between Berkey and Mangino, and he gets the job done. So that is a bit of an undercut done on Mangino there, as Mangino drops back down to fifth. But yeah, these strategies are a little bit offset at the moment, and Berkey will start suffering a bit of tyre wear pretty soon, as Mangino's already on his gearbox. A lot tighter through that right hander. As we look back further down the grid, as Rocker and Merck continue to battle out for 7th and 8th. Merck on the slightly fresher rubber at this moment. Over the back of him at the moment, so I think Rocker going a little bit defensive. This should always goes a little bit wide there, isn't it? Nearly a coming together, as done well to keep the pace up though. They're still showing the 7th. It's got the inside of this hairpin, runs yeah, just he's too tight of a line, too late on the brakes there, as Merck moves himself up into 7th and Grimlock moves himself up into 8th. So sibling rivalry continues. So Jules right on the back of this group again now as well. These 4 cars been in constant battles for the opening third of the race. As we go back towards the front of the pack, and you've got Mangino and Berkey fighting for 4th and 5th. Mangino should be slightly quicker at this stage of the race, but Berkey already proven in the opening stint. Very good defensive driver, as Alex found himself tucked up behind for 4 or 5 laps. And Berkey doing a good job again, holding on to 4th. So Martino on the fresher rubber, really wants to get ahead, get some lap times in, but this is allowing Mr. Sean to get away down the road a little bit as he sets his personal best at the end of lap 13. Oh, a little bit untidy there. Mung ain't going to be able to find a way through before the chicane. Slow sector. He's really untidy at the moment. Mungino just needs to stay in the slipstream now. As you've got Alex pitting again. Another early pit stop from Alex. Looking to do some very short, quick stints. Just needs to find clean air to work in though. And we'll switch to Alex in a minute. But it looks like Alex has rejoined the race in 2nd place. So done enough there to earn himself a pit stop ahead of the fast approaching Mr. Sean. But yeah, Berkey's still doing enough to hold on to 4th at the moment, as Alex, as I say, just rejoins the race in 2nd in clean air now on fresh rubber. We'll see what he can do, and we'll see if Mr. Sean can stay with him, as tyre wear's pretty good at the moment as well. Yeah, let's have a quick run through the grid. Adventure Racing out in front, 37.2 last time out, so back on the pace. And you see just after his outlap a couple of 1:36 as well, so going purple on lap 11. Proved to be extremely tough to beat this season. I say odds on favourite for a promotion. This man, Alex, definitely has the pace to take the fight to him this season. In 2nd place now, opened up a slight gap to Mr. Sean behind. So completes his first. Is a quick outlap. We'll check on the lap deltas as well between the top 2 as the race goes on. But it looks like Mungino making a move on Berkey for 4th place. As yeah, he's got the inside of T1. He's got himself cleanly ahead before the braking zone, and moved himself up into 4th. So Berkey back down to 5th as he starts coming towards the end of this stint now. And we've got Merck up into 6th. Grimlock in 7th. So it's all changing places in this midfield as well. Jules up into 9th. So Rocker's fallen down at 10th somewhere. Jules makes up a place, and Rocker's starting to get some really bad tyre wear, having pitted earlier than the drivers around him. So Craig down 11, 1:40 personal best. So has got the pace today, Craig, but say his first time out in the Group 2 Nissan, and this is a very difficult track. Does have a good flow in the Group 2s, to be fair. So yeah, Craig not having a great day at the office today. Berkey pitting from 5th place, just coming up to a little bit of lag spike there again, so it's come up to the final chicane, so Berkey should be comfortably, yeah, he's on the pit exit already, comfortably back out in 5th place. See if he can get some good lap times in now, put some pressure on Mungino, who should be good to around the 35-40 minute mark. So yeah, we'll see what Berkey can do from 5th place now. Mr. Sean comfortably in 3rd. Alex has really opened that gap up to Mr. Sean behind, 1:37 flat from Alex last time round. Yeah, really on the pace at this stage of the race. See how long he can get this, make this stint go for. But again, should be, I think, put himself in a position to open up a gap to Sean behind and earn himself a pit stop, basically. Canny and Grimlock fighting 7th, 8th. Jules not that far behind in 9th. Rocker's made a pit stop as well. Rejoins the race in 10th. See if we can start closing up the gap. So they got these guys in front. So just towards the end of lap 17 now. Canny coming towards the end of his stint. Jules has made up a place into 8th. Canny down at 9th, really starting to struggle on that warm rubber. And Rocker having pitted early on. See if he's done enough to get an undercut done on the guys up in front, as you see Canny and Grimlock diving into the pits. And Rocker just coming round the final bend now. And looks like, yeah, Grim and Canny both rejoin the race. And Grim up to 8th, so Canny in 9th now. See how they get on when Jules makes his pit stop as well. Yeah, Rocker not doing enough this stage of the race to trouble this pack up ahead. So I think Jules will be close between Jules and Rocker when Jules feeds back into things. Quick run through the grid again, as we've got Adventure Racing pitting from the lead and Alex coming through the final chicane. They're going for another lap, so we'll clearly see the distance between first and second now as Adventure Racing just coming out the pit exit. So Alex has him in his sights for the first time in this race. Back out on the super softs again, another 15-minute stint coming up for Adventure Racing, I'd imagine. Not too sure where the strategy lies with Alex at the moment. Is that tyre wear just about to start kicking in now? 1 minute 38.1 last time around for Alex. And previous pace from James did bang in a couple of 1 minute 36s on his first flying laps on the last stint. You've got Merck pitting from 6th place. Jules pitting as well. So that's going to release Canny and Grimlock, and they'll make places up. I'm not too sure how close they are to Merck though. So blue flags. I'm not too sure why they're getting blue flags there, but that's Jules. So Merck clearly out in 6th place, so he's done more than enough to hold on to 6th. Canny and Grimlock move up to 7th and 8th, and Jules rejoins in 9th. Oh yeah, Rocker's still in 10th, Craig down in 11th. So Alex just hitting the 1 minute 38s now, just past the halfway distance of this race, and that is Alex diving into the pits. So yeah, 1 minute 35.4 on the out lap for Adventure Racing there. That is very quick. I think a 1 minute 36 flat was Alex's out lap on the previous stint. But we've got a few pit stops happening now. There's a check where Berkey Baby feeds into things. There's Mr. Sean and Mungino both in the pits, and just on the pit exit now, looks like Mr. Sean just ahead of Mungino there. So Mr. Sean rejoins the race in 3rd place, Mungino in 4th, Berkey in 5th. Merck in a good position in 6th at the moment. Canny just about doing enough to hold off Grimlock. Could come under pressure at the end of this straight. So takes the inside to go defensive. Jules is right on the back of this pack as well. So all positions retained there. keep an eye on these lap times now. Adventure Racing responds to any sort of threat from behind there, going purple again with a 1:36.1 on that lap, and 1:35 something, that was 1:35.1 on the out lap from Alex. So yeah, definitely got the pace to trouble Adventure Racing out in front, but finds himself a little bit out of sync. Has had to do an extra pit stop. Will have to do an extra pit stop overall. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on what sort of lap times Alex can do. We'll have a quick look at the live timers now to get an official 11.2 seconds behind this stage of the race. Third place Mr. Sean, 11.2 seconds behind Alex, and then you've got Mangino and Berkey closely following behind that. And then you've got the fight of Kenny, where's Grimlock? Is he pitted? Oh, I don't know if Grim's made a mistake somewhere there and falling back to 9th place. Kenny's still in 7th, Jules up into 8th place now, so we've missed a little bit of action somewhere. Grimlock down to 9th, Rocker in 10th, Craig in 11th. So yeah, 1:36.1, very quick lap. 1:37.3 on that last lap. We'll see what Alex is doing behind. 1:36.6, 0.7 of a second quicker on that last lap, and yeah, a little bit untidy there. It's yeah, 11.2 seconds behind at this stage of the race. So just skipping forward to lap 25, and Alex has managed to nibble a couple of seconds back, as that gap's now down to 9.3 seconds to the lead. So Adventure Racing doing more than enough to hold on for the win at the moment. So Alex in second, Mr. Sean in a comfortable 3rd place, just about broken the toe. Mangino in 4th, Berkey clean air front and back in 5th place now. Merck, same for Merck in 6th place. No threat from anyone behind this stage of the race. Kenny doing enough to hold on to 7th. You've got Grimlock back up into 8th, as yeah, we've missed another overtake there between these three, but Grimlock back up into 8th place now, and Jules down to 9th, as we have Alex pitting from 2nd place. So getting low on fuel there as well, so it might be a bit of a longer stop this time around. But yeah, he's definitely done more than enough to open the gap up over Sean behind, rejoin the race in 2nd place, taking a little bit of fuel on that pit stop as well. Just under 20 minutes of the race left to go. I'd say Alex does have to pit again. I don't think he's got I don't think he'll be able to get 19 minutes of life out of those tyres, but we'll see. And Adventure Racing out in front. I've just managed to be looking to make this stint go to the 45-minute mark, as it's been on 15-minute stints so far this race, and again he'll have to take on a little bit of fuel his next pit stop as well. So Adventure Racing first, Alex in 2nd, Sean in 3rd, Mangino 4th, Berkey 5th, Merck in 6th, Grimlock in 7th, Kenny 8th. So we missed that again. Let's go back and take a look. So missed a bit of action at the back today. We'll try and catch this one. So yeah, Grimlock was running in 8th place, and when we just rejoined he was in 7th. So it looks like Kenny's got a good enough gap at the moment. Maybe a mistake through the shore, just overshot the first part of the chicane there quite a bit. And thank God for ghosting there. Grimlock just comes through and takes 7th place. So he's lost a lot of momentum there. He's going to come under, if Jules has a good exit from that final turn, might come under a bit of pressure from Jules into turn 1 as well. He's right in the slipstream at the moment as he takes a little bit of a look. Getting really critical on fuel as well, Jules, this stage of the race. But yeah, moves up to 8th place. Kenny, one mistake there through the chicane, and loses a couple of places. So see what Grimlock can do in clean air now. He's leading this this three-way fight. All these guys on similar strategies, and looks like Kenny's doing a bit of a better job on the fuel this stage of the race. They're all very similar tyre wear. Yeah, it's was a 5-way fight at the start of the race, down to a 3-way fight now, as Merck seems to have disappeared up the road, and Rocker's just dropped off the back of this pack a little bit. So yeah, quick run through the grid. Adventure Racing first, Alex in second, Mr. Sean in third, still the same gap back to Mungino in fourth. Comfortable 5th and 6th places for Berkey Baby and Merck. Grimlock in 7th. Under pressure, a bit of pressure from Jules now though. See if Jules can get another overtake done into T1. As they all go for another lap, and yeah, Jules just sweeps around the outside there. So Grimlock a little bit untidy out the final corner, and Jules getting the job done on the straight before T1. Grimlock taking a little bit of a look. Jules a lot later on the brakes there, and yeah, keeps it neat and tidy here. Good move, Jules up to 7th place now. Grim down to 8th, Kenny 9th, Rocker 10th, Craig 11th. As we have our race leader pitting from the lead, obviously, and Alex coming through 2nd place now through the final chicane. Yeah, a little bit of fuel got to be taken on for Adventure Racing. So, and there he is. That gap has really closed up now. And no, go to 1st place, please. Thank you very much. So, Adventure Racing on the pit exit there, and Alex right on his bumper. As I say, I'm pretty sure he does have to pit again. This is Adventure Racing taking on enough fuel there to get him to the end of the race now. Interesting to see what Alex does from this position though. If he can either fight for an overtake, I'll be looking to pit soon. Maybe just save a bit of fuel this stage of the race, and yeah, take another quick pit stop and really take the fight to him towards the end of the race. You've got Merck pitting from 6th place, so he should comfortably rejoin the race in 6th. Adventure Racing already out a bit of grass there from there's a couple of back markers. I think that was Rocker nearly getting involved in the battle at the front. But both these guys coming through cleanly. And, Alex just about in the tow at the moment. Adventure Racing really quick. Really makes the most of the fresh rubber. He's opening a few laps coming out of the pits. See, already opening that gap up to Alex a little bit. Just flash forward to lap 31. Alex just dropping out the toe of Adventure Racing up ahead now. It's still within touching distance, just under 10 minutes of race to go now, but he's critical on fuel, so I imagine he'll be diving into pit stops for his final pit of the race. So this should give Adventure Racing another 8-second lead, I think, around 8 seconds. And it's under 10 minutes to go now. Alex rejoins the race in second. We'll have a quick look at the live timings. 12.5 seconds. So yeah, quite a lot to do. I think Alex has done all he can on that strategy today. But finds himself 12 seconds behind the leader with just around 9 minutes to go now. So Berkey Baby pitting from 5th place. Mangino seems to close that gap up on Sean in this final stint. He's on better tyres as well. So it should be an interesting battle between these two guys for this final portion of the race. We'll keep an eye on that as well. So further down the field, Berkey Baby rejoining the race in 5th. Pretty good race for Berkey, so comfortable 5th position. Done well while in front of some very quick drivers. Weathered some a lot of pressure today. It looks like he's coming home with a 5th place at least, and same as Merck's managed to get himself away from this group of cars behind and pulled a gap and established himself in a comfortable 6th position. Jules has done well as well, so Jules, Kenny, Grimlock all been in battles throughout this race. Jules in 7th place now, so just got to look after them tyres to the end. Same as Kenny, similar tyre wear for Kenny has staged the race, so see how these two guys get on. So Grimlock seems to have dropped a little bit further back off these two. Does have the fresher rubber for the last portion of the race though. See if he can start closing the gap up on the guys in front. Rocker in 10th has fallen off the back of the fight in front a little bit. So looks like he's settling in 10th. I say Craig. Yeah, not a good day at the office for Craig. So we do drop our worst 2 results out of the 8 of the season. I imagine this will be one he'll be wanting to forget pretty quickly. But anyway, that was the leader of the race. Adventure Racing doing a really good job out in front, comfortably in the 1:36s of the opening portion of his stint. Just dropping into the 1:37s now. So just coming up to another back marker. Alex in 2nd place. He's on his first flying lap, just coming past the back marker of Craig there. Let's see what sort of lap times he's set, as he is doing his personal best at the moment. So again, doing all he can with the strategy he chose. A strategy that probably suits him. I don't think tyre conservation is Alex's strongest point, whereas out and out speed on the quicker compound seems to work pretty well. Just coming around the final corner now. So 1:36s, 1:36.4 from Alex, and yeah, Adventure Racing in the 1:39. So yeah, untidy lap there from James. I don't know if that's just having to navigate a few back markers maybe, but yeah, he's lost nearly 3 seconds on that last lap alone. So there's 5 minutes left to go now, and obviously you start seeing that lap, the delta start to decrease, and it does spur you on to drive that a little bit quicker. But yeah, Alex not that far behind now. Let's have a quick look at live timings. It was 12.5 seconds, now down to 6.5. So yeah, in 5 minutes he has taken 6 seconds off of Adventure Racing, and with 5 minutes left to go he's 6 seconds behind. So might very well get pretty close towards the end. And this is Mangino taking a look on Mr. Sean, and he's been in striking distance for a few laps now, Mangino, as he's round the outside. See what happens here. It's really difficult corner, don't want to be going side by side through. Tight left and right hander, but yeah, Mangino doing enough there, moves himself up in the 3rd place, final podium spot there from Mung. 5 minutes of this race left to go, and Mr. Sean finds himself down in 4th place. Berkey 5th, Merck in 6th. Jules looks like he's doing enough to fight off Kenny at the moment. That tyre wear really will be kicking in towards the end of the race, and yeah, any mistake and Kenny's there to capitalise on it. Grimlock a little bit further behind now, as he has fallen off the pace a little bit. It's safe from safe from Rocker in 10th as see Mangino just trying to navigate Rocker now, and Mr. Sean just dropping back a little bit off the back of Mangino this stage of the race. So I think that slightly better tyre wear for Mung is really paying dividends at the moment. So yeah, up 3rd place, Sean in 4th. Back with the lead of this race, Adventure Racing in 1st place now. So everything getting really banched up now as back markers starting to come into play a little bit. So 1 minute 38.3 and a 1:30, so another 2 seconds taken off him on that last lap. Alex really starting to close the gap now. Especially like you come up to a back marker at a difficult section, tight section like the chicane, and you just know where to go around. You just got to follow guys through. Do get a benefit of a little bit of a tow every now and then, but I'm pretty sure everyone would prefer a clean track over having to navigate blue flags both ways as well. It's not easy for the guy getting lapped a lot of the time. So the Tier 2 Championship's very tightly, skill gap's pretty tight, and very similar paces between guys across the field. So just keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this lead until the end now, I think. I think Grimlock up ahead, the next guy James has to navigate. So all the while Alex is just slowly closing that gap up. Got under 2 minutes of this race left to go now, and Alex absolutely on it, not that far off picking up a tow. But they're only going to have, or maybe 2 more laps after this, 1 more lap after this, I think. Yeah, this could be coming up onto the last lap. And, yeah, Adventure Racing just can't. He's just getting the dirty air now on the worn tyres. Just can't get close enough to attack this back marker properly. Yeah, 1 minute 39.4, 2.5 seconds gained from Alex there again. So this race really coming alive now at the front. Again, that Nissan GTR of Grimlock just so powerful down the straight. Again, Adventure Racing just not close enough, and this is just playing into Alex's hands at the moment. 30 seconds of this race left to go, so yeah, this is definitely the last lap of the race now. And yeah, Alex is right on him. Extreme tyre wear as well. You look at the front left of that NSX, it's completely dead, and Alex is right in the tow now. To come through this right hander, he's going to need a good exit. He's going to put even more stress on that front left, but does get a good exit, and Alex is right on his gearbox now, just coming up to the final hairpin. James neat and tidy, still doing enough. No overtaking opportunity through here really. Just got to keep it neat and tidy to the end now, I think. But Alex all over me. I've got some official finishes, but we'll stay with this to the end now. And Alex gets a really good exit through the final chicane. Oh, there's a little bit of a coming together. I think James has shut the door on him, but holds out for the win. Good win there from Adventure Racing. Alex in second. What a finish. But yeah, Mangino looks like he's coming home in 3rd place. And sorry mate, it looks like he may have just given up that 3rd place to Mr. Sean on the last lap. Mr. Shaw take your third. Mr. Shaw taking third place. Sorry, mate. Mangino in fourth, Berkey in fifth, Merck in sixth, Jules in seventh, Kenny in eighth, Grim in ninth, and Rocker in 10th, Craig in 11th. Yeah, that was the opening round of the Endurance Championship of Season 3 in Tier 2. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.